boy Crypto Blood. How you guys doing today? Today is going to be a special video. We're not doing the My Two Satoshis today. We're actually having an interview with a very active libertarian within the Webbot community, Webbot chat room community, I should say. So before I get into that, just want to tell you guys we do have new t-shirts up on the website. The HODL is my model t-shirt is now available. So if you guys are hodlers out there, make sure you catch you one of these. This can be for precious metal or crypto, either or, man. So we've got some cool shirts up there, and we'll be adding more on a weekly basis. So HODL is my model is up there, so check it out. That's my shameless plug for today. But as I stated, we will be in a brief moment here having Nate Graham from the Webbot chat room and Libertarian on the line with us, and he will be talking with us today about his initiative to really educate politicians and local business owners in SoCal, and you know, he's gonna basically update us on how that's going, and you know, his thoughts about cryptocurrencies and so on and so forth. So we'll just shoot the breeze a little bit. I think this will be an excellent one. I like Graham a lot, and looking forward to this. So without further ado, people, I've got Nate Graham on the line here. Say hi, Nate.
Hello. And
we're very excited to have you on, Nate. You reached out to me maybe was it yesterday, and you had an interesting article that I read over, and you were telling me how you're very active in trying to get politicians into Bitcoin and also local business owners, and I definitely want to hear more about that. I'm sure my subs do as well. But first, let's start off with kind of how you got into Bitcoin and Clif High, and ultimately how you found the Webbot room.
Yeah, sure, no problem. So my foray into it was through precious metal community. Definitely was accumulating and stacking my silver, and watching YouTube videos, and you know, listening to some of these guys start to branch out and talk about Bitcoin. This was like in 2016.
Okay.
So, you know, I started looking at it and thinking, you know, I better look into this electronic currency, because it seems like, you know, it's got a lot of upside potential to it.
So how long have you been a PM stacker?
Not that long, couple
Okay.
years, three years or so.
Okay.
But it just it led me to this place, and I was able to you know, get involved with a little bit of Bitcoin, dip my toe in the water, and just started doing research on my own, watching a lot of YouTube videos, and coming to learn more about ICOs and whatnot. And I heard about this cool ICO coming out, Veritasium.
Mm-hmm.
And so I emailed the Veritasium people.
Okay.
And wanted to know a little more, and Reggie emailed me back.
Wow.
And so you know, he wanted to know a little bit about what industry I was involved in, and I'm in construction, so I told him about, you know, what I do. And so he was interested in my angle on how Veritasium could disrupt and revolutionize the construction industry.
Mm-hmm.
So
and in what manner do you see that happening with Reggie's platform?
Well, it was interesting because I started thinking about it, and it was just about every aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Just-in-time deliverables, the insurance aspect of it. You know, we have OSIP, USIP, different insurance regulations we've got to follow.
Okay.
Bill of materials, so we do large buyouts, and we could do that with blockchain.
Nice.
Billing, the whole 9 yards, payroll, everything had an application with peer-to-peer contract. So it was really intriguing to me, and so I went ahead and I invested in Veritasium, of course, and that was my first ICO.
Oh man, that you hit it. You struck gold with that one, then, huh?
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, since then, watching the videos, I started learning more about Clif High's work, and started buying his reports, and so I pretty much filled up my portfolio along, mainly along his recommendations.
Nice.
And, up to this date, I've had 100x return.
Oh wow, that is awesome, man. It's so great to hear stories like this in this space, and really, I'm sure that really set the fire under your feet, just seeing it firsthand, being able to see the benefits of cryptocurrencies and the blockchain, kind of led you into, wanting to tell others, educate others about that. So that kind of segues me into the next topic, which is what this interview is about, and that is the political realm, and how you are an advocate for blockchain technology in your district, in your local area. Tell us a little bit about Duncan Hunter and how that went. I know you had a call or a talk with him a few days back, and tell us a little bit about that.
So I've had a couple of opportunities to sit down with Duncan on a one-on-one basis, and speak with him about my mind as a constituent. Not solely about blockchain. He opens himself up to these community events when he's not at the Hill, and I was invited to go meet and with some other business leaders and community members to meet him and speak with him. So he had this meeting at a tobacco house. I walk in, and I'm a little early. I sit down, light up a nice stogie. I think it was a Monte Cristo.
Oh, nice. And now you're talking my language.
So the guy sitting next to me just happens to be Duncan Hunter.
Okay.
And so we start talking, just two dudes, having a conversation. And, through the conversation, I come to find out, and he's a really down-to-earth guy, and he's willing to listen to what anybody has to say. So I start telling him about, my experience with Bitcoin and what it can do for our country and our community, and, the benefits of the blockchain. And he was all ears. And,
had he heard of Bitcoin or anything in that industry?
Oh yeah, he heard about it. They passed the bill just at that time. It was very recent that they passed the bill concerning money laundering. I forget exactly what the bill was, but they threw in at the last minute. They tried to roll Bitcoin into that legislation.
Right, I remember that.
So and just reading that legislation, it was obvious that these lawmakers had no clue what Bitcoin even was, because the legislation did nothing to stop capital controls.
Right.
So he was more interested in understanding what it was, and let me just say, I have a very healthy mistrust of government. Okay. I'm a libertarian.
Nice.
I don't like government. Typically, I think they're all politricians, and I really don't want to have anything to do with them for the most part. But this guy, Duncan Hunter, who's my representative, he's actually a really down-to-earth guy, and I had no issues talking with him, and a lot of our values line up. So as far as he was interested in, maybe getting some Bitcoin himself. So he wanted to know, how do I do it? He didn't have a concept of exchanges or anything like that. So I informed him, educated him about, all of these things. And then I spoke with his campaign manager, and, I asked him, I said, do you guys accept, Bitcoin donations?
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't think he could,
Which he can
at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he didn't think he could. So, subsequently, I found that article from CoinDesk that actually there are a few politicians that are accepting politricans.
yeah.
That are accepting Bitcoin. Rand Paul was one. He started accepting him for his presidential bid.
Mm-hmm. And Rand Paul, just to interject, Rand Paul, back when I got into Bitcoin, he created an actual coin. I don't know if you are familiar with Rand Paul's crypto coin.
No, I didn't know that.
Really? Okay, yeah. So I think if my memory serves me well, the coin, he created his coin back in 2014. Somewhere around there. It was shortly after or before Max Kaiser had his coin created. So
okay.
Yeah. So yeah, Rand Paul is pretty familiar with the crypto world, and I actually did not know that he accepted Bitcoin in his campaign.
Yeah. So come to find out that they're technically treated as an in-kind donation,
right?
And that's limited to $100. And the campaign has time constraints. I think they have to get that cashed in or something by 10 days or something.
Yeah, they can't. So how that works is they can hold or hodl. They can hodl the coins as long as they want. But once they do liquidate the actual funds, they have to report or move them to the actual account within 10 days. So that's kind of how that works. Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things that, struck me reading Clif's work is that, we're innovators. And I believe that with that comes responsibility.
Absolutely.
And that we have to educate the 99% around us that have no idea what blockchain is. And part of that on my part is, who are the influencers? Who can I maximize my effort educating? So first I went to my family and I made sure they all got into some crypto. I got my brother some PPT, and that thing, I think it did a 3x bounce or something, and I went ahead and I realized some of it for him, and he was really happy because then he could buy a new gun. So
yeah. Yeah, like when you're able to get people to actually just get over the hurdle of purchasing the cryptos, and not only that, after they see the growth potential or they actually see the earnings that they have, you can quickly make them a believer. That's what I've seen. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And so the change that we're affecting, it's going to happen. It's going to happen quicker when we get influencers behind it. Exactly. And they see the financial impacts that it's having. So that's kind of the segue with the contributions is, hey, these guys, they don't want to limit that income stream.
Right.
So there's this potential, there's a bunch of people now that are starting to, have some money because they're involved in Bitcoin or whatever. And they want to contribute to their political person, whoever it is. And here it is. I mean, we're not going to cut that revenue stream off. So then when they're making, having their campaigns financed with this, electronic currency, then, you know, it's going to follow suit that, you know, hey, this is a good thing.
Right, right. So I hear that the Federal Elections Commission is actually looking to change. You did mention that currently funds are considered what again?
In kind at this point.
At this point. So in kind funds at this point. But they're looking to change that. So in the change, is that going to increase the amount that a person can contribute?
Yeah, so it would change from in kind to a cash contribution, which I think has a limitation of 2,700, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Okay. So in what manner do you feel like this will liberate and help us get things done within the political realm? Because we all know that money is really the motivating factor for, I would say, 99% of politicians once they get in there. So in what manner do you see this being a liberating event for us U.S. citizens?
Well, it's going to educate them in a first-hand basis on what cryptocurrency is.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to see the obvious benefits right there. Hey, I got elected because of this, or it helped me get elected.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, the ignorance out there, like what we saw this summer with the legislation that was ridiculous.
Right.
You know, we'll see more things happening like what just went through in the EU,
mm-hmm.
where they're putting something like 8 million or something like that towards blockchain research. So I would like to see those sort of moves over here in the U.S.
Gotcha. So essentially you're seeing the adoption of, or the usage of Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies in the political realm, helping bring attention to it to those who prior to would not have any idea of that, or if they did, they probably felt like it was used for drug cartel, smuggling, sex traffic, all that bad stuff, right? So maybe putting cryptocurrencies in a positive light.
Exactly. So hey, it's not money laundering, it's not drug dealers, you know, it's straight up, and this is going mainstream.
Right.
So over time, we're going to see the adoption increase at a much faster pace when our representatives are bringing this stuff on board with their campaign.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. So in the article that you sent over to me, and I did read through it, we've got a guy out of New York, 21st Congressional District. His name is Patrick Nielsen, and he's a former Bernie Sanders supporter, and he's advocating the usage of Bitcoin, and he's actually adopting that into his campaign. How do you feel about that with Nelson up in New York?
Well, obviously he's not my political bent. I'm a libertarian. I'm not a socialist. But
right.
Hey, you know what? That's fine. I hope him the best, and you know, I think it's probably going to help his campaign. Honestly.
Do you think, as far as helping, is it going to help from which age group? Do you think more millennials or you know, baby boomers, or who do you feel like would be attracted to his campaign with accepting Bitcoin?
What's the generation before millennial?
Before,
no, definitely.
Is that Generation X?
Yeah. No, that's my generation. No, definitely millennials, right? And pre-millennials.
Yeah, Y? Generation Y?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But definitely that the millennials and pre-millennials or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that I talk to, it seems like the younger they are, the more they know about cryptocurrency.
Gotcha.
And guys that just in my experience, it's not 100%, but seems the older the person is I'm speaking with, the less they've heard about it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, but that brings up a point, though. I was listening to you talk about meeting Duncan, and the fact that he's an educated guy, right? He's in the political realm. His I would assume his level of income is, definitely near $250,000 or even more, or at least 100,000. So we see a guy like him. He's heard of Bitcoin, but does not actually know how it works. And actually doesn't even have any. So that's profound to me, to see that, and it really does support Clif's position on Bitcoin, or people who are in the space right now being innovators, right?
Exactly. So I take that seriously.
Mm-hmm.
I talk to all my friends, anybody who I'm around. Hey, have you heard of Bitcoin? Have you heard of cryptocurrency? What do you think about it? And a lot of times what I hear is just ignorance or misconceptions, or, every once in a while I get surprised. Like yesterday, I got surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody came up at the table I was sitting, they said, hey, I just got into this 3 weeks ago because I was listening to Doug Casey.
Yeah.
And I bought a bunch of Omizi Go.
Wow.
What do you think about Omizi Go?
Wow.
I said, that was your first purchase?
He must have
I had to buy some Ethereum.
Yeah, that's pretty that's pretty impressive to be his first crypto.
Yeah, but he was into junior mining stocks, so he was already on that bent.
Gotcha. Wow. Yeah, that's cool, man. I mean, keep pushing and really educating people. That's the only way that we will see the adoption move faster. And I think your approach to getting in front of people who have influence over a larger group, getting them to be involved in it, will help spread the adoption much faster.
Absolutely. And I'm just feeling so blessed every day because of the opportunity that this has provided me and my loved ones and my friends and family. And we're all on this ride together, and we're watching this thing take off, and it's exciting, to say the least.
Absolutely. It surely is exciting, Nate. So where do you think Bitcoin will be by the end of this year? I know we have projections from the Webbot reports. We have close to $13,000 for Bitcoin by February or March of 2018. Where do you see Bitcoin by, let's say, end of the year?
Yeah, it moves so fast. When it runs, it really runs, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
I don't have I don't have any qualms with it, being over 7,000-8,000 by December.
Yeah, definitely. That's kind of where I see it as well. I think we'll be 7,000-8,000 roughly by the end of the year, but we shall see. We shall see. Anything else, man?
A lot of it depends on black swan events.
Right.
It's really hard to call something like that, but when we have geopolitical instability, everybody's going to run to those metals and to the cryptos.
Right. Yeah, and so back in, I think 2013 or 14, I can't remember. It's all like a blur now. But we had a nice run up in Bitcoin over the Cyprus events. I don't know if you recall that in the news, where the ECB kind of shut down all of the bank accounts. People couldn't withdraw money, only €100 a day and stuff like that. And Bitcoin really rallied on that. So we haven't seen anything like to that magnitude in a while, and I think we're due for that. So that will, in my opinion, be the catalyst to have us kind of go toward that 13,000 marker that Clif High talks about.
Yeah, I agree. You know, and there's a lot of reports coming out that, you know, are showing a lot of instability in the European banking system, things going on in Spain and Italy and Greece, and these problems just aren't going away.
No, they're not.
You know, we're all tied together through the derivatives, so, you know, when something happens over there, we're not going to be able to shake the flu.
Yeah, you're not lying. Derivatives market is at over 1.4 quadrillion dollars, or it may be even more by now. I know we just reached what's that, 20 trillion dollars in debt, our debt for the U.S. So things are really moving fast, and I mean, I think the only avenue, the only off ramp is through cryptocurrencies and precious metals. So we shall see.
Oh yeah, I'm still hodling my silver.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I've still got silver too, but I haven't purchased any more silver since I discovered Bitcoin. So, but I do still have my silver as well.
Yeah, I am. I got a little humbled when Mike B revealed some things, but yeah, I don't have anywhere near that. But I feel like I'm good on the silver end.
Cool, man. Anything else you wanted to really touch on today?
Yeah, I just wanted to let everybody know in the Webbot room how thankful I am that everybody's there. You know, the conversation's always positive. It's always great to hear the different perspectives from everybody that's, you know, chiming in from around the world. And, you know, compared to some of the other Telegram rooms, it's so refreshing to be able to walk into the Webbot room and the Woo room and have everybody being like family in there.
Yeah.
And it's just a really great thing. And I thank you, Blood, for setting those up.
Oh, man, definitely. And, you know, it's funny, though, Nate, when I created it, you know, we had maybe about 50, and I don't think I've told this story publicly, but we had about 56 members in the Webbot room. And even then, it was like the vibe was just like it is now. It was just like really like family. It felt really, really intimate, right? And so I remember one day we were all just chatting and whatnot, and we started to get like 2 or 3 members join every 10 minutes. You know, and at the end of the day, it was we went from 56 members to almost 200 within like 5 or 6 hours, and I didn't know what the hell was going on, man. I really didn't. I really wasn't even paying attention to it. But then someone said, because at that point I had a welcome bot, so it would send a message to any newcomers, right? So it would really break up the flow of the conversation in the room. So one person was like, yeah, Clif High mentioned you. I said, what? He's like, yeah, Clif mentioned you on Twitter. I'm like, Twitter? Oh my God, I don't even have a Twitter account for I think I have one for my company, but I rarely used it. But so I had to quickly run and create a Crypto Blood Twitter account, and the rest has been history. And definitely enjoy your presence in there. You're pretty active, and keep doing it, man.
Well, thank you. Definitely. And, a shout out to some of the admins in there. Jen, Leo, Bit Curious Mom, Mike B, keeping it held down in there. I love it.
Yeah. Is Jen going to come to your party this weekend?
Yeah, absolutely. She RSVP'd. Yeah, for sure. So all the Dago people out there, hit me up. If you're in town, you're certainly welcome to come to my fall harvest crypto party.
Nice.
Webbot hit, ding.
Right. That's dope, man. Thanks, Nate. Now, I usually, this is my ritual with interviews. I finish off the interviews with either three words, and I just need you to give me the first answer you could think of. when you hear this. You ready?
Okay, go for it.
All right. Trump.
Stogie.
AK or AR?
AR.
Droid or iOS?
iOS, baby.
Ah, man. All right, Nate. I appreciate the time, and I will see you in the Webbot room. It's your boy Crypto Blood, Nate Graham. We're out. Holla.